With us in the studio, comedian Tim Wilson here.
The last time Tim and I worked together was in Charleston, South Carolina. And he was commenting on Bobby Bowden and the Florida State Seminoles. And it wasn't 2 or 3 weeks later that Florida State had to almost suspend their entire football team for trouble.
Well, Bobby Bowden's my favorite football coach. I mean, my least favorite coach, of course, is Spurrier, who's at South Carolina now.
Right.
He was at Florida. He'd run the score up on people 89-2 against, he'd be playing DeVry or somebody. And he'd run the
Fighting Engineers.
Yeah, I mean, I always said, I always thought Steve Spurrier basically just stood around in a lesbian golf hat with that look on his face.
Kind of that grimace that...
Yeah, well, Steve Spurrier won the Heisman Trophy. What? When all the black guys were in Vietnam. But my favorite football coach of all time is Bobby Bowden, not because he's a tremendous winner, because he is a tremendous loser.
Yeah.
Coach, you sucked out there today. We did. But we got good kids.
Good kids.
Our quarterback couldn't keep nothing on his stomach. He had diarrhea at halftime. We had to get him a bottle of Kaopectate. There's a white stuff on his pants second half. It looked better than the brown stuff on his pants first half. He's a good kid. Got good parents. Coach, your team stole half the shirts out of a Dillard's. They did. But they're good kids. They was trying to get their grandmama something for Christmas and didn't realize they were in the men's department. Coach, your sidelines was completely empty at the Music City Bowl in Nashville.
It was.
Because half your team cheated on a music test. They did, but they're good kids. It was a stupid test. I never did like that music teacher. I had to take this thing when I was getting my master's degree.
That's right.
It was an internet test, open book test. Anybody could have passed it. And I told them, hey, hell, we're playing at the Music City Bowl. That ought to count for something. They're good kids.
They're good kids.
They did. See, Bobby Bowden's a great Southerner.
Oh, yes.
I look back on my life growing up in the South. There's about 5 people you could never say anything derogatory about at all. First off, Bear Bryant, of course.
Right. Sure.
Ronnie Van Zant. You never say anything about him.
Right.
And, of course, Robert E. Lee.
Sure.
Which, if you think about it, if a coach went to Pitt and got his ass handed to him in a football game and came back to his school, he'd be fired on the spot. They'd get rid of him.
Yep.
Okay. Basically, Robert E. Lee went to Gettysburg. And said, look at those gallant boys up there fighting General Longstreet. They're fighting so hard. And General Longstreet said, well, we could get on our horse and go up there and help them, General. No, we don't want to be like General Hood, who lost a leg in battle and an arm in battle. No, let's stay back here at the trees. Because we'll need somebody to go back and talk about the massacre.
Tell the story.
We need to surrender 2 years before everybody else does. So, I'm basically the guy who tries to find the truth in the situation. We should have had Bobby Bowden at Gettysburg.
Oh, yeah.
Coach, those boys, they sucked out there today, Coach. They did. But they're good kids.